The Oscars have their nominations coming out tomorrow, which, of course, expect a nominees breakdown video as well as my predictions as to who I think will walk away with some statues come, I think, March of this year. I think that's when the Oscars are happening. But on the other side of the spectrum, moviegoers celebrate the worst of the worst with the Razzie Awards. So let's talk about them first. I had thought, about this today, actually. I was like, Oscar nominations come out tomorrow. When do the Razzie nominations come out? So I wanted to talk about these, because even though on this channel I hardly give negative reviews, because I think some films have at least some merit to them. They're going to mean something to somebody. There are better films than others. And some are just not very good. And the Razzie Awards celebrate the worst of the worst. And so let's talk about the worst of the worst here today. Let's break down all of the nominations for the Razzie Awards. So, of course, first up we have instead of Best Picture, it's the Worst Picture. So, Worst Film of the Year nominees being The Electric State, Hurry Up Tomorrow, Snow White from 2025, Star Trek Section 31, and War of the Worlds from 2025. Two of these I've seen, and the another one I've seen plenty of reactions to, and they're hysterical. Electric State I know of because, well, one, Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt are in it, and it was also directed by the Russos, and it tanked hard. Hurry Up Tomorrow I covered on the channel, and I did say some positive things about it, but it was not going to crack my top 10, not even top 20 on the year. Snow White continues the legacy of, Disney cranking out live action movies to animated classics and people not taking to it in the slightest. Star Trek 31, Section 31, I can't comment on. And then, of course, War of the Worlds. The reactions online to this movie have been absolutely amazing, and I've loved every single reaction I've come across for that movie, especially from Struggle Nation. Love those guys, and their reaction to that movie is absolutely awesome. So, if I was to pick the worst movie of the year, I'm going to say War of the Worlds. War of the Worlds, I think, has got to take it. Worst actor. Nominees being Dave Bautista in The Lost Lands, Icecube for War of the Worlds, Scott Eastwood for Alarum, Jared Leto from Tron Ares, and Abel Tesfaye, or The Weeknd, from Hurry Up Tomorrow. Again, 2 out of the 5 of them I've seen. Leto, I thought, did a really good job in his performance, but again, that's just me coming from an optimist's point of view. And The Weeknd, again, acting is not his first gig. It is singing and performing. So I thought he did okay as acting, as his first time acting, kind of being like the lead guy in a movie. Thought he did okay. And then Ice Cube, I've seen reactions, again, to this movie, and Ice Cube's not even trying. Spoilers for Anaconda, if people have not seen the new Anaconda movie that has been out. But he shows up in the new Anaconda movie. He did better in that than what he did in War of the Worlds. So, yeah, and I can't speak for the other two. I don't even know why Dave Bautista's in here. But granted, I've not seen In the Lost Lands, so I can't really comment. But if I was voting, I would say icecube. For sure. For like 100% for sure. For worst actress, Ariana DeBose from Love Hurts, Mila Jovovich. That's probably not how you pronounce it, but here we go. In the Lost Lands, Natalie Portman from The Fountain of Youth, Rebel Wilson in Bride Hard, and Michelle Yeoh from Star Trek Section 31. Only one of these out of the 5 I have seen, and it was Ariana DeBose, that performance that I saw, and I thought she did okay in that. If you've not checked out my Love Hurts review, you should definitely go check that out. I had a fun time with that movie. Ke Huy Quan and Ariana DeBose, and plus it's an 8711 movie with like really good action. It was a fun time. I had a fun time watching it. The other 4, I really can't judge on. This may be like the worst category for me to like pick somebody from. This is just gonna be me like throwing a dart at a dartboard blindfolded. If I had to pick one, Rebel Wilson from Bride Hard. Just cause, like I said, throwing a dart at a dartboard blindfolded is just me picking one. Worst remake, ripoff, or sequel film nominees being I Know What You Did Last Summer from 2025, the rebooted, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Smurfs from 2025, Snow White from 2025, and War of the Worlds 2025. 4 out of the 5 of these I've seen, Smurfs being the lone exception, although I did joke to people that I know, like, oh, I'll go see Smurfs because it's like a down week between, I think, what was it, Superman and Fantastic Four. But then something else was coming out that weekend, and I was like, oh, good, I don't have to go watch Smurfs. But the other ones I can't talk about. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I thought it was fine. I didn't have any, like, big problems with it. I did like the reveal of who was working. The first one was predictable, but the second one, I actually kind of like. I'm not going to spoil it, because I think you should definitely watch it just for that reveal alone, in my opinion. Five Nights at Freddy's 2, I think, is on here because the general populace who don't play the video games and don't understand the lore just said, this is bad because I don't understand it. That's at least my opinion, anyway. But to us that have played the games and, can weave a line through all the chaos, I actually really, really dug what they did in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and am looking forward to that third movie. Snow White, again, I didn't think it was bad. Rachel Zelger, I thought, did a good job as Snow White. Like, CG wasn't too bad. Gal Gadot, I thought, was fine, as well as the Evil Queen. And I thought she had a really good villain song. I didn't have too many problems with it. It's just that, again, everyone just labeled this bad, especially, considering Zelger and all the stuff that, she had said prior to the film coming out. And then, of course, War of the Worlds. That has been memed to death on the internet, just crazy amounts of times. If I had to pick one, I'm going to have to go with War of the Worlds. Like, at least with Snow White, I think you can point out positives. FNAF 2, I think you can do the same. Like, animatronics from Jim Henson. Beautiful. And I Know What You Did Last Summer. Like, I think it might be a coin flip between, like, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Because they did tease a sequel with I Know What You Did Last Summer. With War of the Worlds, it's very much standalone. But as War of the Worlds is just so bad. It's so bad. So I think I'm going to stick with War of the Worlds on this one to win worst remake. Worst supporting actress. Anna Klumsky from Bride Hard. Emma Horvath from Strangers Chapter 2. Scarlett Rose Stallone from Gunslingers. Casey Roll from Star Trek Section 31. And Isis Valverde from Alarum. Only one of these I've seen, so again, this might be just throwing a dart at a dartboard to, blindfolded to pick a winner. I'd have to look and see who Emma Horvath played in Strangers Chapter 2. Let me take a look. Who did she play? She plays Shelley. You can see how much, Strangers Chapter 2 left an impact on me to try and remember who on earth is Shelley. And it's not ringing a bell. That should win the award right there, because it did not leave an impact on me at all. Oh God. Yeah, this is gonna be like, again, throwing a dart at a dartboard blindfolded. Sure, Emma Horvath from Strangers Chapter 2. Just because I can't remember who Shelley is how it shows you how much impact she had as a character. Yeah, we're just gonna go with that. Moving on to worst supporting actor. All 7 artificial dwarves from Snow White. Nicolas Cage in Gunslingers, Stephen Dorff in Bride Hard, Greg Kinnear from Off the Grid, and Sylvester Stallone in Alarum. Again, only one of these I've seen, which is the 7 Dwarves one. I thought the Dwarves were fine. I didn't find any problems with them. I thought they were similar to what they were in the original animated movie. So again, this is going to be, again, throwing a dart at a dartboard blindfolded. Greg Kinnear. Why not? From Off the Grid. Why not? Just why not? Worst screen combo. All 7 dwarves from Snow White. James Corden and Rihanna from Smurfs. Icecube and his Zoom camera. War of the Worlds. Robert De Niro and Robert De Niro as Frank and Vito from Alto Nights. And The Weeknd and his colossal ego from Hurry Up Tomorrow. 4 out of the 5 of these I've seen. Well, 3 out of the 5. If you want to include War of the Worlds of that, it's 4 out of 5. Again, I really didn't have a problem with the 7 dwarves in Snow White. Icecube in his Zoom camera is legendary. Just, oh my god! every time I see that, just oh my god, it's so funny. It's so funny. I thought Robert De Niro as both Frank and Vito in Alto Nights. I thought he did really good in that movie. Again, if you've not checked out my review for Alto Nights, I really enjoyed Alto Nights. Even though it didn't make the biggest splash at the box office, I had a fun time with it. And Weeknd and his colossal ego. I was like, he doesn't have a colossal ego. And then when we get to the scene about, him talking about his music, it's like, okay, like I can understand. I can understand that a little bit. I'm gonna have to give it to Icecube and his Zoom camera. Obviously, like again, like I said, those two legendary. So I have to give it. I have to give it for that. I have to. Moving on to worst director, we have Rich Lee for War of the Worlds. Olantude Osunsami. I probably butchered that horribly. For Star Trek, Section 31. The Russo brothers for Electric State. Trey Edward Schultz for Hurry Up Tomorrow, and Mark Webb for Snow White 2025. 3 out of the 5 I've seen. Rich Lee, I think that was his first movie, War of the Worlds 25. So, I mean, we could give it to him. Trey Edward Schultz, I think in my research, he might have done some music videos prior to this. And I think I even said in my review, like, the visuals for Hurry Up Tomorrow were really, really good, in my opinion. And then Mark Webb, same Mark Webb that did the Amazing Spider-Man movies, by the way. And before that, I think did a lot of romance movies. I thought his direction for the live-action Snow White was pretty good. Like, it was solid. So yeah, I'm gonna have to pick on the new guy. Rich Lee is gonna win it. It'd be funny as hell if the Russo brothers won it, and then they go on and everyone says, "Look at how great Doomsday was," after they won a Razzie for worst director for Electric State. That'd be funny, but I'm pretty sure Rich Lee is gonna get that one. Moving on to worst screenplay, and this is the last one. Electric State, which was written by Marcus and McFeely, adapted from the illustrated novel by Simon Stollenhag. Hurry Up Tomorrow, screenplay done by Trey Edward Schultz, Abel Tesfaye, Weekend, and Reza Fahim. Snow White 2025, screenplay by Aaron Cressida, again, probably butchered that horribly, Wilson, and a bunch of others too numerous to mention. drawing from the original fairy tale from Brothers Grimm, also the original animated movie as well. Star Trek Section 31, screenplay by Craig Sweeney, with original story concept developed by Bo Hyun Kim and Erica Lippolt. Again, I think that's how you pronounce that name. And War of the Worlds, screen story and screenplay by Kenny Gold, and screenplay by Mark Hyman, adapting, and they have this in parentheses, or destroying, the classic novel by H.G. Wells. 3 out of the 5 of them I've seen. The screenplay for Hurry Up Tomorrow, I think, felt more like improv more than anything. I'm trying to recall my feelings about the screenplay for Hurry Up Tomorrow. I think I might have said naturalistic in my review, but I think I was just being kind to that movie. Maybe. I can't remember. Snow White. Again, I didn't think the script was all that bad. I don't think it was that bad in my opinion. I thought it was solid. And again, this just could be me as an optimist. You know, just thinking positively about things. But I didn't think it was that bad. Just me. And then, of course, War of the Worlds. I love the fact that they say, in parentheses, or destroying the classic novel by H.G. Wells. And I think just off of that alone, I think War of the Worlds is going to win that as well. Because, yeah, War of the Worlds is such a classic novel by H.G. Wells. And, again, say what you will, but Steven Spielberg did a better job at adapting the story than, what happened with that movie that Amazon released. So, yeah, War of the Worlds is definitely going to take that one, for sure. But if you were wondering who was leading in nominations, War of the Worlds and Snow White both tied with 6 nominations. Hurry Up Tomorrow and Star Trek Section 31 had 5, and The Electric State had 3. I think everybody else that was not mentioned, I think, had 1. But yeah, War of the Worlds and Snow White were not everybody's cup of tea last year. And I think probably for 2 vastly different reasonings for being mad. One was a funny type of mad, like, how on earth did you all make this and it got released? Like a funny haha type of mad. And then the other one was mad at the sake of acting, like performances and stuff like that, and the concept in general. That type of mad at a project. Again, just my opinion. But there you go. The Razzie nominees and my predictions as to who I think will win each of the categories. I hope we got all the bad out the way before talking about all the good that is going to come tomorrow with the Oscar nominations. So I wanted to get the bad out the way first. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow for some Oscar nominations. Be safe out there. And what would you walk down when you go to the Razzies? Would it be the green carpet, like green for puke? It wouldn't be green carpet. Green would be like, well, no, Kids' Choice Awards would be an orange carpet, because like orange Nickelodeon. So they could have a green carpet for the Razzies. Or what color are raspberries? Like magenta-ish? It's some type of red. So, yeah, do green. Why not? I'm just spitballing ideas. And I will catch you guys next time.